All right, here we are, Disabato, the first ever organized girls state championship, state of Ohio. Tell us what it took to get here.
Just gave me tingles, man. We met. It's been talked about for a couple years, and it's a big production. So, when we've been talking about it, it's kind of like, yeah, who's going to do it, how? So, we finally met as a group last year at Marysville when they had that big clinic out there for the girls. Got some people involved, and our coach association all talked about it, and so we just got the ball rolling. And once that happened, it's months and months of getting people's opinions and asking what's happening, and ever since then, that led us to this day.
Well, you're making it sound easy, right? I mean, I think the hardest part is getting the ball rolling,
right.
Like you said. So all eyes are on Ohio right now, right? So what are you going to say to those states that haven't gotten their butts off the couches and haven't gotten the ball rolling? What would you say to them?
It's hard work, and I want to thank Hilliard City Schools first, letting us use this facility, and they've been awesome. So getting a place, that was probably the hardest part, as far as get a place that can hold that event and everything. And after that, it's hard work, there's no question, but it's out here, all that hard work is all gone out the window. You forget all about it because you see what these girls are going through right now. Go for it, because it's what needs to be done, and it took too long, but we're finally here, and it's going to be a great weekend.
All right, so the nation's not only looking at you, obviously state of Ohio.
Yep.
Snodgrass is already looking.
Yep,
He's already mentioned this might be a trial run.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that?
So
what's the next steps?
We're going to meet actually in March at the state tournament, and we're going to have some small discussions with them and kind of see what the future holds and what our vision is and compared to their vision. And then from that point in the spring, we're going to have more conversation after the state tournament. Preliminary of the state, and then he wants to meet in the spring a few times. So our guess is next year might be a push as far as having the state run it. But even if we have to do it one more time, the goal is in the next couple of years, we're going to have a sanctioned by the Ohio High School. Without preliminary discussions, I can't talk for them. So I know they're really big into it, and I've heard stuff on the side that they want to go in with boys volleyball. So if they can bring them both together, it'll be that kind of stuff. So I think the numbers here are great, and they're going to come and see how big this sport is. And logistics, I think, is going to be the big part.
Okay.
What teams you're going to wrestle with? Are you going to have a separate team than boys? Are you going to have a different coach? Are you going to have a room? How are we going to do that? So those are discussions that we're coming up with ideas now, and we'll have for the future.
Yeah. For what it's worth, I mean, I've talked with a number of coaches and getting them to kind of embrace things and just inviting girls one by one into the room to wrestle with the boys. Is that the start? Is that how you see this thing
start?
And I
think after this weekend, because there's definitely not a buy-in from everybody. I mean, I don't think that's happening, let's say. And I'm sure there's some out there that are trying. Girls just aren't into it yet. But hopefully they see what's happening this weekend. Everybody gets bought into it. Hey, these girls are saving boys wrestling. Our numbers have been dropping, and now every team in the state has 1, 10, 20 girls on their team that we didn't have last year. And I liked what they did this year. The couple of those coaches grabbed that league, and they kind of made their own tournaments and their own duels, and they just said, we're just wrestling girls. I'm going to run it, and let's go. So that's a great start. And, the future, it's going to keep growing. I mean, it doubled from last year. I think it's going to maybe double again next year.
Yeah. Collectively, I mean, you guys make it look easy. Yeah. But obviously, there's been a ton of lead-up work to this. Mentioning numbers, how many girls today?
Initially, we were at 250. So final, we had some people scratch weight, last night. Excuse me. My guess is probably 240.
240. I was looking over the brackets. Everybody's at 32, maybe starting 16 for sure, right?
I think our lowest weight class was 10.
Okay.
And we had a lot at 14. We had like 4 at 14, but a couple of them are 28, 29, 26. So.
Okay. You doing full wrestlebacks?
Yes.
Cool.
Everything's double elimination.
Okay.
We're going to wrestle through the quarters tonight, and then through the up to the consi quarters. So tomorrow will be semis and consi quarters. We're going to place the top 6. We got we got 2 trophies. The team trophies are just like the boys' state tournament, and the medals are exactly the same. So, we're excited. They're going to go nuts. We got a podium from the state. We're using the boys' podium. So
state mat out there, I saw too.
State mats out there.
Obviously,
all state officials, stuff on the mats. We're trying to make it as close to the boys as we could, including eligibility, including you had to be on a team. It wasn't open to girls in a club. So we try to make it as close so Ohio High School could see it and say, yeah, this is what we got,
Good.
And the girls in the club, hey, it stinks, but we're trying to build this for the Ohio High School, so that's why we wanted to stay that way.
Okay, from a coach's perspective, give a real quick word of encouragement to those coaches who are going, how do I do this?
You know what? I've had a few girls that wrestle, but one of my girls from 8 years ago, she showed up today, Allie Massett Open. I haven't seen her in a couple years. I mean, I'm getting choked up, but it's not that hard, guys. It's really just the same, and you have to have that perspective that's open. I look at it like this. If my daughter wanted to come out to my team, am I going to tell her no? Heck no. I'm not going to tell my daughter. You shouldn't tell your daughter, especially now that they compete against other girls. And, if you get one, bring a friend. Just like youth, if I have a kid come to my camp, I'm going to say, it's much better if you bring a friend your own weight. That way you know you have a partner. Encourage it that way. And that's what I've been telling a lot of people. Bring a friend that you can wrestle with every day in practice, and it's a great start.
Yeah, and for my 2 cents, for whatever it's worth behind this camera, I've noticed the vibe is different. It's just a different feel with girls wrestling. Don't let that intimidate the coaches.
No.
Coach Nicola said early on, find a coach that's willing to take on those challenges. Obviously, Nicola's that man at Orange.
Right.
But don't be intimidated by this, because it's coming, right? It's here.
And I think here's what else is happening. Like Olentangy, they're looking into already, hey, can we get a stipend for these coaches, just for girls only? I think that the more we build, the more pressure is going to come on, and people are going to realize, hey, let's get these girls. Let's have that opportunity for them. And it's the right thing, and these girls shouldn't be wrestling boys. They should be wrestling girls, just like both sides. It shouldn't be that way. They have a separate basketball team. You should have a separate wrestling team, and let them go. And all they got to do is come see this, and it's going to change everybody's mind.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what it's all about. All right. Anything else you got for us? I appreciate the work that you're doing, everything you've done so far.
It's been tough, but you know what? I forgot all the hard work we've done already. It's great. Until Sunday when we have to clean up, then.
Yeah. But that's what wrestling's all about, right?
Right.
All about the hard work, you put it in, and then the feeling you get afterwards.
Life.
Yep.
It's life.
Awesome.
So.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate everything.
Thank you.